Hi guys, welcome back, or if it's your first time here, my name is Vanessa Lee. Hello, make yourself nice and comfortable. Do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Today we are going to be taking care of one of my rescue plants. So I did a video, I think it was called, when I took care of this particular plant, which I'm going to show you just now, it was in my disaster plant rescue part 2. I think that's the name of it, but if not, I'll just write the title up. And it's one of my all-time favorite plants. I've always gone on and on about this plant. So if you have been here before, or if you've been here from the very beginning, if you're like one of the old school plant fam, then you will know that my Philodendron lemon lime Hederaceum is one of my favourites, and I almost lost the plant. It almost croaked it completely, took my eye off the ball. I had it growing in pon and it was living in the hallway. Now the hallway gets really cold in the winter, and also obviously I'm not spending that much time in the hallway, so didn't really see that it was deteriorating until it was almost too late. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it was very upsetting. So I'm going to show you some parts of it. I basically had this beautiful full plant. Maybe I'll put in some footage actually so that you can have a look at what I'm talking about. I mean, she was gorgeous, she was bushy, she was lush and doing all the things, and oh my god. So I've started off with a whole new root system. I basically cut the plant, got rid of the old roots completely, and now I have several kind of cuttings in various different forms of substrate. So this one is growing in pon and looking very happy. As you can see, there's lots of new leaves happening. I have had 1 or 2 leaves drop off, and I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. I sprayed it for Pest because I just panicked basically. I just panicked and I was like, I'm spraying that plant. So I sprayed the plant just in case it has spider mite. Most of my philodendrons tend to get spider mite, but I do have a suspicion that I might have some thrips kind of gathering in my bedroom around the plants. I've got maybe 5 plants in my bedroom, and yeah, they're not looking hot. Yeah, so this one's been growing in pon. I don't know what its root system is like because I'm not really oh no, it's got some roots. Oh, we do have roots. So here we go. Oh, just chuck pon on myself. Yeah, so we do have roots, and we've got roots actually growing out of the bottom, which now makes me think I'm going to have to try and find a bigger pot. And yeah, it was a bit of an experiment. I've got another bit also in pon. In this very tricky little orchid pot. If I can get it out. Okay, let's have a look and see if you've got any roots. Well, I don't actually see any, but I did this one a little later. This one was actually in my soil. Yeah, I rooted some in soil, and I ended up taking it out. I ended up cutting these bits off because they just didn't look very happy. But yeah, we're going to have to check this out actually, because I can see some of the stems look a little strange in colour. Let me see if I can point at one. I mean, they've got 2 tiny little leaves growing, but the stem of it is looking a little bit rotty. So that's not good. Yeah, so we'll have to look at that. Yeah, so I cut those bits off the soil. I didn't bring the soil one over. I'll go and get that one afterwards. And then I did 2 pots or 2 jars with 1 leaf cuttings in this one. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by 1 leaf cutting. So it's basically where, ooh, hang on. Let's see, can I get one of you out? You want to come out, do you? Okay, they both want to come out. Yeah, so it's where I cut just 1 leaf like that, and then the roots have grown. And then on this one, you can actually see, so like, yeah, we've got some roots, and you can also see the next growth point. Yes. So the water propagations did very well. It took a little time to get going, but they did in the end. And I do have some sections where there's more than one leaf. And as you can see, the roots are kind of slightly smaller. Got another root up here as well. But I guess it's just all about the amount of energy that's having to be produced. I mean, obviously the plant is trying to keep the 2 leaves at the bottom, but also at the same time trying to work on this root system. So I can tell already that the single leaf cuttings have really good roots, like really nice long roots. Yeah, all of them do. Okay, I'm going to go and get the one that's in soil. Yes, this is the one in soil, and to be honest, I mean, we did get one new leaf, which is this one, and there is one on the way, which is kind of tiny, but it's been quite slow, and I don't know, I just don't feel confident to put the plant back into soil again. I mean, it may have a pest, and that's why things are, I keep checking this thing for pests. I don't see anything. But yeah, I think I'm going straight for pon again. I know. It's nuts. Okay, well, this is what I'm doing, so I'm going to carry on. I do have a couple of other little jobs that I want to get done today, or hopefully I can do them today. One is to just put an extension pole for my marble queen, my epipremna marble queen, but we'll see how we get on with time. This is the most important one, and it's going to be a little bit fiddly because there's like quite a few different components that we're having to deal with here. I'm going to go and look for, actually, do you know what? I saw a jar somewhere. I guess I could use this. It could be cute in here. Let me have a quick look around, and yeah, and I'll be right back. Okay, so pon all over the floor. So yeah, I'm back. I found this, which is just a Tupperware, just simple. And this is a plastic bottle that I've cut. So it really depends. I mean, there's not much difference between the two. I mean, they're definitely, that's a size bigger. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to take the camera down because, I mean, I did bring a box over hoping that I could do it. Then I realised the box is not high enough. So I could do it like that, but you still only get to see that much. So it's just easier for me if I just put everything on the floor. Actually. Finally getting this plant together. It's going to be so nice. Okay, we are here. So I have my bowl for when I need to tip things out. I also have some labels. So someone actually asked me a question during the week. Well, actually, they didn't ask me a question. They were just kind of like saying that they were enjoying the video. And so there's, the only thing with it is that there are, somehow I've got bits of sphagnum moss in there, and I do not want that. Yeah, they were like, oh, that they enjoyed the video, and
they noticed that I was using pon and I put some stones in the bottom. These are not stones, they're actually leckables, so they're made from clay. So they do absorb a little bit of water, but not that much. So it's great for like your drought tolerant kind of situations. Now that is fine. Don't want to go too nuts. I've got a feeling that I am going to use this. I might cut it a bit lower. But let's have a look and see what we're dealing with first. Hopefully I've got my scissors close by as well. So I think the obvious would be to start with the largest part. Just get that unpacked. And you can see there's lots of roots there at the bottom coming out. So definitely needs a deeper reservoir. Yay, look at these roots. Let's just make sure that they are actually okay, because some of them look a strange colour, but no, they're quite bouncy, and that's what you want. Nice, bouncy. So we do have these bits here, but again, they're not feeling soggy, so I might trim those off actually. And then with this, I will want to reuse this pine, but I do not. What am I doing here actually? What am I doing? I'll shove them in there now. So yeah, there's not a hell of a lot of perlite in here either. So I might add some perlite, because that's quite, it looks quite heavy. It looks heavier than my usual. Okay, I think that's good enough. Ugh. I do have, I need some alcohol. I took the alcohol, where was it? So yeah, I'm just going to give these a bit of a clean. This is just surgical spirits or rubbing alcohol, and I've added a little bit of water. I was actually using this for my Monstera albo, the large one. I've been finding mealybug on that plant almost daily. Sometimes they're really big and then often they're really tiny, but hopefully I've got to the end of it. Okay. I'll put that over there. So I have, oh, that's what I wanted, perlite. So I have all my like planty stuff in the cupboard behind me, and it is such a chaotic mess, and I feel like I'm always tidying everything up. Like, I don't know what happens. Well, I guess I happen. Yeah, so I'm just adding a bit more perlite. Make it a little bit fluffier. I think that's fine. Okay, and I also just want to trim these up a little bit. So yeah, some of them are a little bit on the soggy side, like here, but I don't know, should I cut? I'm not going to cut that off actually, I'm just going to leave it. Have a quick look at the leaves. That leaf does look a bit suspicious. I've got to say it looks a bit spider mite infested. And so does this one. Oh no. Okay, that's looking good. but we do have quite a few bare sections like here. I might try and get that a little lower in the pot. Oh, that's interesting. One little singular one. So yeah, this does look, I mean, it's not rotting. I mean, it might just eventually fall off on its own, but I'll just trim it off so that I have peace of mind. Just tidy it up, but try not to cut off any of the roots. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. That one. I really hope this is going to be I really hope that I can get my plant back to how it was. You see that is rotting. I need something a little bit sharper, so I'm going to go in with this knife, and because it's so close to that root, I want to try and save the root, but I just don't want that. Okay, that one looks fine. Right, now we can start kind of putting it together, and I kind of need to have an idea of how much space it's all going to take. Once we put it all back together again. Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest to get it all back together. I'm kind of figuring that out now. But if I can keep that as a nice little bundle like that, that would be amazing. So I'm just chopping off. And you know what? I think I'm just going to allow that to kind of callus over for a little bit. I will want to put this bit back in as well. Let's just plonk all of that just there and have a look at all the other cuttings. So yeah, I'm going to be, oh look, the shoot's kind of going downwards. That's interesting. So I don't know how I'm going to pot this dude up. He's just going to have to figure it out itself. But yeah, I'm going to have to try and get all of these in also. And that is going to be kind of tricky. That's a long one. Oh look, this one has barely any roots. I might just plonk it in anyway though. Yeah, they should be kind of going like that. I mean, some of the roots are very dinky, to be honest. Oh, I don't know how easy this is going to be. That leaf looks a bit dodgy, so I think I'll skip that one. Okay, the roots aren't crazy long, but we do have a lot of like little bits of new growth on most of them, which is fantastic. It's a really good sign. Another one there. Let's do the next jar. Oh no, what happened there? Okay, so we've got roots. The leaf obviously croaked it, but we do have a growth point, so I'm going to try and get that in somehow. And this was the leaf. Oh no, this one's fine. This one, the leaf, I'm not too happy about, but it does have a growth point, so I'm just going to take it off and yeah, see what happens. Let's have a look in here. So another nice long one, tendriling piece. So I think what I'll probably do is try and pot those guys first, and then when it gets to a certain height, I'll start adding in these smaller cuttings. Oh my gosh, they're adorable. Right, so that's those two. I also need to have a look at these. So yeah, so as I said, there are two stems that don't look too hot. So let's get it out of here somehow. Look at this. It's like this funny little orchid pot. I do love them, but they're kind of tricky. Oh, here we go. Okay, we do have roots. These guys I definitely put into pond, well, much the same as the other plant, without any roots at all. And so all these roots actually grew in the pot, into the pond. So they're definitely used to that substrate, which is great. Okay, we've got a single leaf. We do have another little tendriling bit. And then more singles. This one doesn't have any roots on it. This one does. And then the other one that's browning also has no roots. So I'll just chuck those to one side. Okay, now I should have a better idea of how big this plant pot needs to be. So if I just put everything back together again, or together. Wow, it's looking quite bushy. Okay, and then this will be the last little bitty bit. So yeah, it's gonna look kind of something like that. It looks a bit nutty, must be said. That is my fridge, which, oh, it's so annoying. Okay. So I could go with this, or maybe I should just go with this one. That's the reservoir that I'm going with. Then where is my scoopy? It's definitely not going to be enough on, but it'll be enough to kind of bottom. And yeah, I'm kind of just going to do it like that really. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do just one side, and then I don't know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, they're all in position exactly where I want them to be. Wow, that wasn't even close to being enough. And of course I didn't get the other bucket of pon out. I might have to mix up some more pon. Let's see how I go. hopefully not. Brilliant. So that is kind of at the height that I want it to be. I'm just going to push that all over there and hopefully it will just stay in place. Are you going to stay there? Brilliant. Now I can move on to these bits. So yeah, a lot of them kind of are a bit upside down. So I think I'm just going to put them around the edge like so. Or should I put them all together? Hang on, hang on. Okay, you can definitely go there. This one's fairly long. And the rest, I think I'm just going to hold them by the leaves like this for now. And then maybe I can wiggle them around afterwards. Hopefully this one's long enough to stand on its own. So you. Okay, so I'm just going to hold those like that. Okay, they're kind of in place. Oh. Oh my gosh. They're in. And it really is in quite a big pot. And if that all starts filling out and growing, oh, I'm going to be so happy. Okay, so we do have some additional pieces to put in. So here's one. Here is the other one. So you can kind of see it's got its growth point. So I think it's worth plonking it in. But where? That's the point. I think I'll put it here. Hopefully it will just work its way up towards the light. But kind of the best that I can do for now, and I'm actually quite happy with that. I'm really happy with that. It actually looks like my plant almost again. Ah, brilliant. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about the lighting. I just realised it's a bit weird, isn't it? But anyway, it's what we're dealing with today. It's very cloudy. Actually, it just started raining. Okay, great. Summer's over. So yeah, I just wanted to show you what it's looking like. And it's going to be nice and bushy. Hopefully it's going to be happy again. I don't know what happened to her. Well, we kind of do, but we kind of don't. This one's not going to be living in the hallway again. I do need to try and find it a spot. I might put it back in the kitchen. Most of my propagations go in the kitchen, and also I get to have a look at them on a daily basis there. So if there are any issues, then I can like jump in there. I am seeing
I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but this leaf here is showing signs of spider mite. So I might have to, again, should I spray this plant again? I really actually just, I'm getting to the stage now, I've got a bit of thrips. I think I mentioned that in the very beginning, got a bit of a thrip issue at the moment. And spider mite has popped up on some of my philodendrons that I'm very like the Splendid, for instance. You know how much I love that one. If you've been here before, you'll know. Yeah, so it looks really dusty as well, yeah. So yeah, I want to go to the beneficial mites, but that will actually mean not using any chemical pesticides on this plant, because otherwise it's just going to be pointless. And I think that's going to be the only real route of getting rid of, especially thrips. I don't think I'm going to be able to like get rid of the thrips without using something strong, or using beneficial mites, because in the past I was actually using a product called Invigorator, but after now reading the label again, it doesn't actually deal with thrips. And so I guess I've just been going through this cycle, or in the past I was going through a cycle of catching the larger ones with those sticky mats, and then I would use hydrogen peroxide to clean the soil. So I was kind of, maybe I'll try and do that first. Yeah, maybe I'll give that a go. But I mean, this one obviously is a different situation. It looks like spider mite for me. It doesn't look like thrips. Thrips is kind of a bit more like they suck in dotty areas. This does look more spider mite like, which is really frustrating me. But anyway, she's looking pretty for now. And I thought before we kind of tackle the moss pole, I'm going to show you one of the other plants that I rescued. So actually before Disaster Repot Part 2, there was a video before that. Let me see, what was the name of that one? Have a quick look at my phone. Where is it? I can't actually believe how many videos I've made. It's just amazing to me. Like, I started a year ago, and I think I got a message from YouTube saying I had made 142 videos, and I was congratulated with a ticket to the cinema, which is really cute. Yeah, so the video before that one was called Chatty Long Repot and Some Plant Drama. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of where it all began, and that's when I did this repot. And it's in soil, it's doing so well. Look at these leaves. Aren't they just gorgeous? I mean, every now and then I do spot one that looks a bit dodgy. And I think it's kind of showing the same kind of signs as the Philodendron lemon lime. What I might do is actually put the two into a propagation bin. I need to take off all of these sheaths, because if there are any pests, that's kind of where they're going to hide. So I'll go around and just kind of clean that up. Do a little bit of a clean now. There's not too many on there actually, because I do try and quite enjoy taking them off sometimes. It's quite therapeutic. Yeah, and then I might kind of mist them down, clean them up, and then put them into a propagation bin and put a light on top, and just kind of keep them together, like consolidate this spider mite issue. Or maybe I should just neem them, because neem is fine. If I do go for beneficial mites, I think neem is not such a big issue. Oh, I've got one stem that's really empty. I may as well cut that off. So we've lost some leaves. Okay, well, I'm going to pick my way through this off camera. But yeah, I'm going to have to do a video very soon on pests. Let me know, guys, if you actually notice that your plants are being attacked suddenly. I've spoken to a couple of friends that also are plant nuts, and that's kind of like, it's really weird actually, because one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, my whole home is infested with thrips, they're just all over the place. And I was like, well, it just sounds like a bit of an exaggeration, because, you know, I know, I felt like maybe she was exaggerating, because I was like, you know, like she's really on top of her like pest preventative, and I know that she's like the type of plant collector or hobbyist that's, you know, she adores her plants, she's always up in their face, she's always stroking them and stuff. I mean, she's named them, you know, like one's called, I can never remember all the names. One's called Mooney, one's called Gobby, oh no, Gooby or Gobby. You know, they've all got their names. So yeah, she really treats them like pets, and I'm much the same with mine. But yeah, I was like, how can they suddenly all have thrips, you know? Yeah, we've got another bare section here. Can you see that? Oh, I don't like the look of that. So we have been losing leaves. It's very sad. I mean, this stem, let me just dig it out. It is almost completely empty. I mean, I could actually, yeah, I'll just cut that stem off. Anyway, it has been showing some good signs. The leaves have been kind of sizing up. That's a fairly new leaf right there. And then the next one, which is literally just opened, this one, and you can see it's got some nice variegation going on. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Just really want to chop off that super long stem with absolutely nothing on it, because then something else can grow. Yeah, you see how many nodes there are on that. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, they're still kind of struggling, so I can only put that down to it being a pest. I really can't think what else it could possibly be. So I'm just untangling it a little bit, because it's a little all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I've done everything else for this plant, so it has to be a pest. It just has to be. And I think the only way I'm really going to tackle this pest problem is by buying some pretty hardcore systemic pests. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. And if you do have any advice for me, because it will be my first time using it. Look, we can see again, lots of bare areas. So I mean, this is all looking kind of cute, but that is not cute. That is so not cute. And the leaves on these bits are really tiny, so I'm guessing that these bits are being attacked. And looking closer at the leaves, yeah, I can see spider mite damage. I really hope that you can actually see that. I'll try and zoom in so that you can see what you'll be looking out for if your plant has a pest. I mean, it can be so subtle, can't it? Yeah, it's busy attacking the smaller leaves. But yeah, that's that update. So we are still on the struggle bus, really. We haven't got to the stage where I had wanted to be, and now that summer's almost at its end, it's unlikely that the plant is going to get back to its former glory this year. But hopefully next summer it will kind of spring into action. It'll be a healthy, happy plant again. And, oh, that was loud. Yeah, oh, my heart. Yeah, I do seem to be struggling with the philodendrons. To be honest, I had another one that I did do. I did a repot in that whole disaster plant repot thing, and she's fine. She's absolutely fine. But I actually gave that plant away to this charity, this garden project charity thing that's kind of local to my area. I just felt that I didn't want to keep, I've got a lot of trailing plants. I have a lot of Hoyas. Now, I do love philodendrons, but I don't think, in the very beginning of when I was collecting plants, I wanted all the philodendrons, like I wanted them all. I was just, oh my God, I just thought they were just the most amazing plant, and they are the most amazing plants, but they grow so quickly, you know, they grow really quick, and I just don't have the space. So I kind of had to make a choice. And not only do I have, so excluding my Hoyas, I have obviously the lemon lime, you've just seen the Brazil. I've got two types of Scindapsus. One's the Silveriam, one's the Exotica. I've also got a trailing Epipremnum Cebu Blue. I have another Epipremnum Enjoy. I also have my Epipremnum Marble Queen, but I've now put that on a moss pole, and I'm going to show you that one now. So yeah, I have a lot of trailing plants. Hoya wise, I have about, I would say about 30 Hoyas. And then of course the trailing plants that I just mentioned, there was about 5 or 6 just then. So I mean, and you've seen how tiny my home is. If you haven't, then let me just tell you, it's tiny. Oh, my hair just boinged open. Just wind it back again. Yeah, so I just kind of had to make a choice. I have to be kind of realistic about my space. Oh, I didn't even include all of my Ripsalis. So yeah, I've also got my Ripsalis, and yeah, they've just kind of become my favourites. The Hoyas and the Ripsalis as hanging plants are my favourite hanging plants. They just give, don't they? They're just so giving. I mean, the Hoyas with the flowers, the Ripsalis are meant to flower. Mine haven't, any of them. None of them have ever flowered. I want to move on to the next job. Don't want to run out of time, and it is getting late. So I mean, it's basically just a really simple moss pole extend, but mostly I just wanted to show off my plant. So I'm going to go and get it. It lives in the hallway. Here it is. So it's just kind of sat in a terracotta pot, just so that it doesn't topple over, because it's right on the stairs and I wouldn't want it tumbling down the stairs. But yeah, I kind of started growing this. I think it was probably about half the height when I put it onto the moss pole. And as you can see, the leaves are definitely sizing up. So excited. So I was watching, I think her plant channel is Melissa Plants, or just Melissa. And yeah, she has an Epipremnum Enjoy on a moss pole, and the leaves are huge. And actually in the store, we've had a couple of the, what do they call them? Like the golden pothos ones. So like the, you know, like the, probably the easiest ones, but they're kind of yellow, aren't they? Why does that look sticky? Are you sticky? Hopefully that's just water. But yeah, and they're quite substantial. The leaves are like double the size of this. So yeah, I just want to put an extension pole on. I'm just going to show you a little up close at the roots at the back. Actually, you're probably just going to get a whole bunch of glare. But yeah, you can kind of see the roots here. And I've used sellotape to keep the plant close to the pole. So what I do is I actually use 2 strips of sellotape. I make one slightly longer than the other one. I then put the 2 sticky sides together. The one that is shortest, I make sure it's central. So then when I put the tape onto the plant, it's not going to stick onto the stem. And then it's just got the 2 sticky bits at the end, and you just lock it round and it's stuck to the moss pole. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. And I have my moss pole. I recently dismantled my Philodendron Splendid, which I had 2, which were on separate poles. And yeah, I put the 2 plants onto one pole. Anyway, so whilst I was doing that, I took this pole, this pole broke in the process. So I'm actually just going to cut this down to where I can still use it. Am I going to slip it inside? Yes, I'm going to slip it inside. Okay, cool. So yeah, you can kind of see it's fairly broken. I think I'm going to cut it about here. I don't know, do you want to see this? Is this interesting? I don't think it is. Okay, the pole is ready. So I'm just going to put the camera, hang on, can you see the plant if I just do it like that? Yeah, you can. Let's pretty much see the top of the plant. That's good enough, isn't it? So yeah, you can see already like the next batch is ready, but luckily there's enough space. Hopefully this is going to go inside. And it doesn't need to go too deep. I think to about there. Yay! Well, I do want some ties just to keep that in place. So yeah, just to kind of keep this thing from moving when I add the... Oh my gosh, is this going to be painful? Yeah, just to stop it from moving when I add the moss. What is going to be the easiest? Actually, if I just bend it, here we go. Oof. Oof. Here we go. Have we done it? Have we done it? Watch me fiddle for half an hour with this thing. Oh God. Let's try again. Yes. That's one. Get in there. That one. Where did I put the other one? Ah, here. Oh no, it doesn't have an end. Okay, so I'm going to use one of these chunky ones. Not my favourite. Actually, now I wish I'd just put one in the middle. So I think I'll do that. Concentration. I'm trying desperately not to damage the plant. Okay, I'll cut that off with my scissors. Whew. And then I'll just try and roll that round. Is it going to roll round? No, it's not. Let's cut that off. Brilliant. So the sphagnum moss is reused, and I recently sprayed this down with some hydrogen peroxide because of my little thrip issue. I'm actually going to put it inside the bin. Here we go. Hopefully you can still see what's going on. So yeah, just chuck some moss in there. Squash it down. Whoops. And I'll just add more moss as and when I need it. So I'm not going to go too much higher. I think that's good enough. And I'll probably give this a little bit of a shower as well. Yay. Brilliant. That's one less job to do. And then she can go back in her spot. Here's the plant, looking great. It's got some more space to move up the moss pole. Really happy with that. Did give it a little bit of a dust, although I think a shower is going to be much better. And yeah, I'm just really pleased that I got to reuse that pole. And most important, well, not most important, they're both important to me, but yeah, I'm really, really pleased that I potted this guy up. So I've got the whole plant all in one place, so I'm not having to water here, there and everywhere. And yeah, I'll just keep you updated on how the two are getting on. I actually do plan on doing an updates video fairly soon because a lot has been happening with my Hoyas and my Anthuriums. My Anthuriums, oh my gosh, maybe I'll just do them separately. So I'll do like a Hoya video and then I'll do an Anthurium video, because otherwise I'll just be waffling on for days. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm really happy. All pray for me, pray for this plant. I really hope that I can get to the bottom of this spider mite issue, or whatever the issue is. It does look like spider mite, although I'm not seeing any webbing, I'm not seeing any kind of like actual pest on this plant. And normally I check for pests at night. Maybe I'll try and do a video of how I check my pests at night. It's going to be a bit difficult because I have all the lights off, because they tend to be more active when they feel no one's watching, basically. So like when I spotted mealybug on my Monstera albo. It was stood here. I switched the light on and I literally saw it move. Like I didn't realize they could move so quickly. And then I was thinking, is that really mealybug? Is that possible? Because it crawled quite quickly, small and white, but then it could have been a thrip. Who knows? Yeah, I need to get onto that thrip issue. We need to get some serious pest control. So I don't know when I'm going to do that video. To be honest, like I've known about having the thrips now for at least a week, and I'm just completely, what is the word? Like I'm a bit overwhelmed. I don't know if that's the correct word, but I'm feeling a bit like, yeah, like, what do they call it? Survival, when you either run or I think you stay and fight or run, so actually that doesn't work. But you know what I'm saying, like I'm just feeling like oh my God, like what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm just stuck in one point. Like I can't actually make, like I'm not moving into action. I'm just kind of like, just stuck. So I just need to come to a decision and just get on with this, because I do not want this problem throughout winter. I mean, to be honest, thrips will probably like the adult ones I'll end up catching with the sticky mats, and then it'll probably just go dormant until the next summer. But still, I really want to tackle it. Thrips hasn't commonly been a problem for me. I've had 2 plants in my life that have brought thrips into my home. Not that the plant, they called them in basically. The one was my Philodendron melanochrysom, real thrip magnet, and the other one was a Monstera adansonii, which I absolutely loved, but I had to get rid of it purely because of the thrips. I was like, no way is one plant more important than the other 149. So that's kind of like my mentality, is that if it's a plant that I'm really like, yeah, it's okay, it's an okay plant, like this one for instance, like if this one was taking down my whole collection, it's not such a hard plant for me to find again, and it's also inexpensive, so I won't continue like pushing and pushing and pushing if it's just gonna cause issues for the rest of the plants. But I am keeping this one away. So generally when I'm either propagating plants, or I'm kind of keeping an eye on them because they might have pests or have pests. If they have pests, then I generally kind of box them up together, and I spray them first, and then I'll box them up together and I'll keep an eye on them. If I'm unsure of whether they have a pest, then I'll just keep them in a place where I know I go quite often, which is my kitchen. My bedroom, I don't hang out in my bedroom, I just sleep there. Yeah, I don't really like hang out in my bedroom. I'd like to, because I've had homes in my past where, you know, like I'll just go and hang out in my bedroom, like just go and lie on the bed and read a book or whatever. I kind of do that in the living room. What am I talking about right now? Gone completely off topic. Oh yeah, and then propagations. So I have, most of my propagations are in the kitchen, on the window, or they're in propagation boxes in my bedroom. So I don't have plants on display in my bedroom. I have 1 propagation box at the moment in there, and I do not want more than 2. Last year in the winter I had 3 or maybe even 4 boxes of propagating plants. It was nuts. Well, I had a couple of plants that don't survive the winter unless they're in propagation boxes, but yeah, 4 boxes was way too much. So I really want to keep that. I want to keep a check on myself when it comes to propagating plants. Obviously in the beginning it was just so much fun, like I discovered that I could do something new, that I could grow my own plants, and so I went nuts. But now I'm kind of reining it in, and also like I was also kind of thinking, oh, if I propagate these plants maybe people will want them, but actually the ones that I propagated don't seem to be plants that people want. People don't seem to be into Scindapsus, I don't know why, but I've still got a lot of them, so I'll probably end up donating those. Why am I still holding this plant? Yeah, I really love this plant. I'm so sad. I really, really hope the best for this. But anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on. I don't think there's anything else that I was meant to say. There's probably something that I was chatting about and then I just lost track of what I was talking about, so I started talking about something else. But yeah, that is today. And I started quite late, so, you know, even though I have been lazing about for the good part of the day, at least I did something. I got 2 plants sorted out, and yeah, it just kind of makes me feel better about everything. But now, of course, I'm going to go and do some hoovering. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you've got any tips or tricks, do leave those in the comments down below. It will help me out, but it will also help someone else out. And yeah, it's always nice to hear about what's going on with your plants also. Like, let's start a conversation. I love it when you guys start chatting amongst yourselves as well, and I get to read those, get to spy on what's going on. But yeah, leave me a comment. And if you haven't yet hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that. More numbers, we need more people to join this family. Oh my gosh, things have been moving very quickly, but I'm enjoying every moment of it. So join me. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you here very soon. Until then, bye.